Hi folks, hope you're having a wonderful day. We are going to be looking at the Kamvas Pro 13 from Huion here. This is a 1080p 13-inch screen, and yeah, this has 4 programmable keys with a little touch scrolly pad there. The pen has 8,000 levels of pressure. And yeah, everything we want to know, we're going to look at. I'm actually going to be working on a commissioned piece of art in the draw test here. I'm going to be looking at the parallax and all those cool pen features you want to know about. So stick with me. Let's get started. So what's in here? Let's have a look. First of all, I want to do an unboxing before I get into the draw test, before I get into testing the pen and everything like that. Yeah, first of all, there's a few things that I like that they've included that other people haven't included. Things that we've seen before. Huion really gets stuck in when it comes to extras and things like that. They really are up in their game to compete in this market, especially with the 13-inch tablets. So yeah, straight off the bat, we have the tablet itself. The tablet looks really well made. It has 4 programmable keys plus a touch bar. On the back, it has these vents. They look like speaker grills. They're not. They're just vents. It also comes with USB-C rather than having a multitude of ports. Also in the box comes the warranty card plus the card telling you where to download the drivers from. There's no drivers included in the box. There's also a stand with the manual telling you how to use the stand. So I really like the fact they've included this stand. I think that's absolutely great that that comes as part of the bundle. You don't have to get that as optional. You know, it just really helps. And the stand is really well made. It's, you know, it's plastic on the back, but it's metal on the front. And it really works. It's really simple. If you've got other tablets, if you just want to use this on your laptop, it just works. I wish that this bottom flappy piece, I wish that was just a bit, you know, kind of bigger. Just so I did find once or twice that the tablet slipped off of it. But I think you just get used to it and adjust a little more. Especially when you're working at the top of the tablet, so you don't press down too hard. But just me, I think you get used to that. That's probably my only criticism of the stand. Unlike some other stands that I've used, it doesn't collapse on itself. So really well made. Really like the fact that it's chucked in for free. Brilliant. Here's a quick look at how many positions the stand has. If you wait around till the draw test at the end, you'll be able to see me actually using it though. It is very versatile. I was amazingly happy with this, and you can use it for other devices like laptops. The stylus itself is actually one of the more awesome styluses I've seen out there. Now obviously this is a battery-free stylus, 8,000 levels of pressure. There are a few other features that I wish it had, but those features only come from Wacom. I hate mentioning Wacom in reviews of, you know, Huion, because I just don't think it's fair to make those kind of comparisons. But this certainly, in terms of design, is awesome. And I think they've actually got something in here that Wacom, I think, could learn from, which is the flat end here. You know, if you notice very closely on the end there, the stylus is flat. So this doesn't roll when I put this on the table. And even the Wacom Pro Pen 2, which is awesome, does roll when you put it on the table. So hats off to Huion for getting this spot on the money. They've got a full grip here. This stylus looks pretty awesome. So I think in terms of looks and design, this really is pretty awesome. The donut. It's an aesthetic thing only, but I'm not overly taken with it. As long as it does its job, I couldn't care less. But yeah, I feel kind of neutral about it. I don't really mind it as long as it does what it says on the tin. I would like to see more designs, I think. I don't think it necessarily says Huion. I've noticed a few things online that people have 3D printed that are very unique. So yeah, maybe I'd like to see Huion come up with something that is just so unique that people have to go wow at it. Just my thought on that. The artist glove. What can I say about this? I don't use them, but I do notice through my Amazon store links that a lot of you guys buy these things. I'm glad that it comes included. I think that's something that should come included these days. You guys know that I use these things. I wear them because if you say hipster, I will find you and slap you. That is not a physical threat, that's humour, before you say anything. But I know you guys like these things, and yes, I've tried them. I just can't wear them. I just can't. But I'm glad they're in there. Let me know in the comments below what you think.
Moving along to look at cables now, we're seeing the all-in-one that we see on pretty much all cables now. And yeah, it's USB-C as we saw on the tablet. We've got power, USB and HDMI that lead to the all-in-one USB-C there. And next up we've got the little booklet package. Inside here is obviously a nice little wiping cloth and the manual for the Kamvas Pro 13. Inside it's nicely illustrated, showing us everything that comes inside, how to set up the tablet, which is pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to show you here in the video. But we also have the power adapter, which I will show you how to use. That is using whichever socket that you have. I'm in the UK, so I have this. It's a simple push and click. Took me a couple of seconds to work out though. You have to find which angle to put it on and then press the button there to release. And that's everything inside of the box.
So straight out of the box you can see why Huion are one of the leaders in 13-inch and smaller monitor tablets. I think they've done a great job here. This looks fantastic, you know, on the stand and with everything it comes with. The screen and the build quality here are pretty great. I'm not a fan of smaller tablets in general. I'm waiting for Huion to come out with something like a 27-inch. I think they will do absolutely, wonderfully in this market. And I think that's something that a lot of people are quite honestly waiting for. So let's get on with testing the pen and see how this turns out.
I'm using Photoshop for my tests here, and the first thing I want to say that yes, this stylus has tilt. You can see my initial pen pressure is pretty excellent. I'm getting some nice subtle lines here, and it goes really nice and thick as well. Now my hands aren't the smoothest. I don't get these nice excellent straight lines that some people get. I'm not a line artist, I'm a detail artist, but yeah, you can see the line variation is pretty excellent, and yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. If you look at Parallax here, it's staying pretty close to the bone. That's what, 1.5 2 millimeters. So I'm happy with the Parallax as well, especially on a smallish screen. Normally on the smaller screens you can see about 3, maybe 4. Now this is drawn at an angle here, so the Parallax might look thicker than it should be, but yeah, if you look at the previous test you'll see. Drawing with a ruler here, you can see how nice and straight the lines actually are. So again, I'm happy that there's no wobble on those lines. Even drawing freehand here and trying to get some wobble in, those lines you can tell are coming out nice and straight. So for the actual draw test, this is a commissioned piece that I'm working on. I've actually done the main illustration here on the book cover that I'm doing. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a border. This will probably last about 10 minutes and it'll be a speed painting, as you can see here. Now this border will be nice and detailed by the time I'm finished, and it will be largely symmetrical as well. So I've turned on symmetry in Photoshop, and I'm just going to start off outlining it in one color, which will be kind of grey to start off with. Kind of going for an Art Nouveau feeling here. The client mentioned a cover for 1982, 1981. Yeah, you know which one I'm on about. But yeah, so that's the kind of feeling we've got. And he mentioned a bird as well. So yeah, I'm going to try and work everything in. So yeah, here we go. And I'm just sketching everything in. I'm just doodling for now, trying to work it all in. But I thought I'd show you this. Now I'm a lefty, and for lefties, sometimes it can be a little harder. And I don't know if you know that. I'm sorry if my focus keeps going out. I didn't realize that I hadn't locked in, so yeah. But switching over to my screen capture for a moment, you can see the exact detail that I'm managing to get. Now the reason it's good to switch over here is you can see how precise my actual brush goes. Now it's really nice. You can see I'm making use of those hotkeys as well. Now there looks to be 6 hotkeys, but there are only actually 4, because 2 of those hotkeys, one of them is the on-off, the other is the settings hotkey. Now I've moved my hand and you can see the on-off hotkey there. Personally, I wish those 2 hotkeys, the on-off and the settings hotkey, I wish I could change those in the settings so I could repurpose them to be other hotkeys, so I wasn't losing them. When I first saw them, I thought, oh, this has 6 hotkeys, and then I realized, no, that's on off and the settings hotkey, and I'd rather have 6 hotkeys than 4 hotkeys. So Huion, if you're listening, software update, firmware update would be nice. I'd rather have 6 hotkeys than 4. The scroll bar, that's amazingly useful. Thank you for that. I do use that. I have used that in this video a little bit. I tend not to use those bars or scroll wheels overly that much, but when I do use them, they come in handy. What I tend to find is when I start using a new tablet, I don't use them that much, and then the kind of usability kind of sneaks up on me over time. Normally for scrolling rather than brush sizes and things like that, I tend to still change those with the right click. But you can see here now I've started to add in secondary and tertiary colors to this, and it's really useful being able to turn on the symmetry, because it just allows me to concentrate on one side and it remains symmetrical. I've actually got all 4 sides of symmetry turned on, so for the moment I'm actually just painting one side and all 4 sides of this border are getting painted. However, I'm going to have to radically change 2 of the sides, the bottom 2 sides, because I don't want them all being the same. I want them being similar but not all the same. The good thing is though, you know, that it's doing a lot of the work for me, which makes this amazingly quick. And I recently did a similar book cover, and that's why this client came to me, because they saw that I liked it. This is, you know, these kind of covers look great though, and they're a lot of fun. To me, it kind of feels a bit Game of Thronesy, and yeah, I like that. I don't want to copy that, but there's something in that kind of same vein of fantasy that I like. So trying to keep it separate, but at the same time kind of have that same fantasy genre feeling. Something that just makes those people who like that like this. So yeah, there's definitely something there. And 1984 was the book that I was thinking of. I don't know why that popped out of my head. So obviously I'm doing all these colors or tones on a different layer. So I'm getting a few different layers in now. I'm into second digits. Normally on a book cover I can easily go into 3 digits. But Normally when I do YouTube videos I try and keep it into double digits only. Zooming in now, you can see this is actually still a little rough, but you know, I'm just keeping it fairly fluid for you guys because I don't want to run into hours and days. But you can see even on a 13-inch tablet, it's working really, really well. Now I'm used to working on bigger tablets, but I was amazed that a 13-inch tablet for me was actually working really nicely, despite the fact that I was zooming in, but I was still not zoomed in as far as I thought I was going to have to. The trouble for me is smaller tablets, I normally zoom in a lot closer than I want to do. Here, even though this is a 1080p screen, I wasn't having to zoom in too far. This is actually a good quality screen, and it's a well-built tablet as well. I was enjoying this, and the pen itself, Huion have made a decent pen here. It's got a 60-degree angle of tilt to the stylus. Those 8,000 levels of pressure are really working hard for their money. It's a comfortable stylus as well because of the grip and those two buttons. So the 4 short keys, I did manage to get my worth out of them, because even though there's only 4, as long as you've got Control, Alt, and your hand tool in there, you know, you can normally get away with those, as well as the 2 buttons on your stylus for your eraser and your right click. You know, you've got enough there. You know, or for your Mac users, your Apple button, you know, and your Control button. So, you know, you'll be all right. I think there's just enough to get by, just enough. Like I say, if Huion give you a software upgrade to change the settings button and the power button, once, you know, you've got your artistic applications open, then we'd be okay. I don't think you need a power button. I think if it just powers on once it's plugged in and your computer's on, that's enough. If the settings, you just enter it via the software rather than via the hardware, that's enough. Or if you have to press 2 buttons together, then that'd be enough. So you can see at this point the frame itself, the border itself, is pretty much finished, and I'm just adding some lighting effects. The stand for the tablet has been pretty amazing. I love this stand, and it's reusable on other devices as well, like the Dell laptop you can see in the background. I could use it for that. So I'm really, really happy. All that's left for me to do is just jazz this up a bit, and I'd be pretty much done. You can see there the border as a whole looks pretty cool. I've got the back cover there that I'm not really going to do anything on, but I'm just going to add this kind of gradient kind of effect over the whole thing. I could have done this with vectors, but I want to do this hand drawn just to make it look a bit cooler. I'm still keeping that symmetry on, just because I want to keep it all in line there. I'm going to make it with a few colours maybe. But yeah, and this is just to give it a bit more of a pow, a bit more of a zing. And don't worry, it's not going to be this kind of, yeah. Don't worry, just stick with me for a minute here just to see I'm not completely mad. This tablet has done amazingly well in such a short amount of time, and I've been really happy with it. I think if you like smaller tablets, you will be too. So let me know what you think in the comments below, guys, and make sure to hit like on this video if you do. I'd love to hear your feedback on the cover and the tablet. So the client was very, very happy with this. There was a bit of a bungle on my part. The title of the book. I've never had that happen to me before, honestly. It wasn't called Creature, it was called The Gold Pelt Beast. I can't honestly believe that I did that when I reread my notes and everything like that. I made a mistake. You know, things get lost in translation. So a quick change of the title, easily enough done, everything on layers, type, everything like that.
A lot of the time I lay stuff out in InDesign. This time I didn't. It was all in Photoshop. A long time ago I didn't even put titles in there. But when working with independent authors, one thing I found was that I'd hand them the artwork, then somebody else would put the title in there, and they'd do that much of a horrible job that they'd ruin my artwork. So instead of just putting in kind of a title as a placeholder, I started doing the title work properly in hopes that they'd use mine instead of letting some third-rate designer do it. And it worked, and they did start using mine. So these days I just kind of throw in the titles, you know, for free. Yeah. So yeah, I used the wrong title. My mistake. So quickly, a change, no problem, client didn't mind. And because of this, I just simply, because the title was no longer creature, it was the gold pelt beast, I changed the border colour to gold to kind of give it a visual match. And it just meant that I had to kind of change visual elements, didn't really have to redraw much, just, you know, kind of tweaked movements around a bit so I could fit in the extra words. You know, it just took an hour or two just to do that. And, you know, obviously it was my fault, so there was no charge there. But I'm happy with it now. It looks better. But this is the newly finished thing, and completely happy with it. Looks great. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like how it looks now? Sorry I didn't get to show you the entire thing. This was actually a quick piece to do. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Having used the Huion Kamvas Pro 13 to do it on was a lot of fun. And I didn't want to show you the whole process of drawing the pelt as well as the border, but you can see by me drawing the border on the Kamvas Pro 13 that, you know, this is quite a capable drawing tablet. You know, I could actually get to use the tablet, even though it's smaller than tablets that I normally prefer to use. A lot of you guys like 13-inch tablets, a lot of you guys prefer those smaller sizes. I prefer bigger sizes, but it really depends on the kind of work that you do. A lot of you guys who prefer smaller tablets normally do line art, comic book work, you know, simpler work. I prefer to do work that is highly detailed. So for me, bigger tablets are better tablets, which is one of the reasons I can't wait for Huion to start doing, say, a 27-inch tablet. It's great that they're now doing you know, ick here, pressure levels, but I really want them to start doing that 27-inch tablet. The 13-inch here though is absolutely well built. It's really good quality. It comes with that stand. I think all of that together is really good. And even though this is only a 1080p screen, I think the screen quality here is actually really great. So even though it's a smaller tablet, it's actually, I kind of normally prefer 16 inches a minimum. But out of all the 13 inches that I've tried, especially at 1080p, this is actually a really usable tablet, even for a professional like me. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'd say it's one of the only usable 13-inch tablets that I've come across, and that is actually really saying something from my point of view. So yeah, gold star to Huion for this one. Thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below, especially in terms of budgets. I'm happy with this one. If you've used one of these, if you've got one of these, let me know one of your thoughts, not one of your thoughts, all of your thoughts in the comments below. I'll speak to you guys soon. Hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell, hit the like button. I'm asking a lot of you and I don't care. I'll speak to you guys soon. Stay creative. I'm off. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'm hungry, quite frankly. You do the same, but remember to hit all those little buttons first. Bye!